Welcome to the St. Paul first annual banquet to dedicate our sewing machines to our sewing ministry.
What a wonderful tribute to Charlotte. What a way to use all of the remembrances that were brought in for her. And I think that she's smiling down from us on heaven.
Very
and
good.
Just so happy right now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Carl,
a good one.
Say something.
Well, I'm glad to be here because it's lunch here, and other people like Charlotte Miller, she's done a lot of work, but I'm just kind of a follower. But you got to have followers too. If the leaders didn't have followers, where would they be?
Absolutely. Thank you.
When she retired, she said, I'm going to spend 25% of my time.
More than that.
I later accused her of 50%.
Yeah.
Not only she did it here, I don't know whether you do, she knitted with a group from St. Pat's in Glen Ellen, another group in Batavia, as well as the knitters here, and also did sewing for Peaceful Hearts over in Lyle.
Right. Yeah.
So she was quite involved. I think, Marilyn, she gave you a couple of years ago the number of quilts that she had seamed. It was over 1,000 at that point.
Yeah, she kept track, yeah.
She had been involved with the Labor of Love since we moved here, basically 30-some years ago. And Ethel Anderberg, some of you may still remember, was kind of heading in. At that time, they made quotes for Mark Hunt, Children's Home, and then they started the quotes for the ELCA. But it was her love, and this is truly a blessing.
But I think I have, just from the time I have known her and what I've heard, he says louder. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I can do that.
You're yelling at it.
I have just obviously become very, very fond of her, as have all of you. And she leaves behind a legacy that's just never going to go away. And I think that's a wonderful thing, a tribute to be able to give to somebody that has dedicated so much of their life to thinking about and doing things for other people. So this is just a little tribute. It's called Our Charlotte. She was a learner, a teacher, and the ultimate seamstress. Sewing contraptions of all makes and models would leap into action at the touch of her toe. It is widely agreed she could have stitched a straight line with her eyes closed. Thread in all colors of and beyond the rainbow flew through needle and bobbin under her meticulous guidance. Layettes, pajamas, dresses, and pants all came to life for her children and grandchildren. Scores of colorful crib blankets traveled over the miles to wrap little ones in the warmth of her mother love. She proudly draped a measuring tape around her neck as if it was the Hope Diamond, and literally became a part of every project she undertook, stitching and knitting a tiny part of herself into every piece of her work. Knitting needles virtually took on a life of their own, clattering together, coaxing vibrant colored yarns into patterns and solids. Multicolored yarns came together as she maneuvered knitting needles to do her bidding. And then there were the quilts. Charlotte fell into the line of those women who preceded her as keeper of the quilts. It would be no stretch of the imagination to assume that over 1,600 of them traveled the globe, bound and sealed with her love, bringing potentially life-giving reassurance to those afflicted by war, disease, and natural disaster. Charlotte was disciplined, precise, and at the same time amiable and just plain fun. There should be absolutely no doubt about the fact that never again will there be shabbily clothed cherubs in the holiest of places, nor will St. Peter need to concern himself over the mending of his robes. And if at any point in time we hear a whirring in the wind or a clattering of twigs together, nothing should keep us from imagining our Charlotte hard at work tending to the needs of those around her.